Hello, and thank you for watching this video about symbiosis, in which I will explain mutualism, parasitism, and commensalism. In addition to competition and predation, symbiosis is another type of interaction among organisms. Symbiosis is any relationship in which two species live closely together and at least one of the species benefits. The three main types of symbiotic relationships are mutualism, commensalism, and parasitism. Each of these are types of symbiosis, or symbiotic relationships. Do you have a family pet at home, like a cat or a dog? Many families get pets treated with medication to prevent tick and flea bites. Without treatment, pets can suffer from severe health problems as a result of these bites. A relationship that involves one organism living with, on, or inside another organism and harming it is called parasitism. The organism that benefits is called a parasite. The organism it lives on or in is called a host. The parasite is usually smaller than the host. In a parasitic relationship, the parasite benefits while the host is harmed. Unlike a predator, a parasite does not usually kill the organism it feeds on or lives on. If the host dies, the parasite could lose its source of food or shelter. Some parasites, like fleas and ticks, have adaptations that allow them to attach to their host and feed on its blood. Fish lice feed on the blood and other internal fluids of fish. A parasitic cowbird laid its eggs in a yellow warbler's nest. The cowbird chick is outcompeting the warbler chicks for space and food. Before learning about mutualism in ecosystems, let's talk about the word mutual first. The word mutual could mean a feeling or action experienced or done by two or more parties. The word mutual could also mean held in common by two or more parties. Let's use the word mutual in a couple of real-life scenarios. Let's say someone says, "I like you." You could say back, "The feeling is mutual," meaning that you feel the same way about them. You could also say, "My friend and I have mutual interests. We both like dancing and playing video games." The mutual interests are those things that you both have in common and are interested in. Keep these definitions and examples in mind as we move forward. In some relationships, two species may depend on one another. This is true for some species of acacia trees and stinging ants in South America. The stinging ants nest only in the acacia tree, whose thorns discourage the ants' predators. The tree also provides the ants only food. The ants, in turn, attack other animals that approach the tree and clear competing plants away from the base of the tree. This relationship is an example of mutualism. A relationship in which both species benefit is called mutualism. Another example is the oxpecker. Oxpeckers live in Africa and have a habit of perching on large mammals like zebra, giraffe, rhinoceros, hippopotamus, cattle, and impalas. They eat the insects off of these animals, such as ticks and botfly larvae, which are parasites to these large animals. The oxpecker will pick out and eat those insects on the mammals, and the mammals no longer have parasites on them. This is an example of a mutualistic relationship where both organisms benefit. The organisms also rely on each other in mutualistic relationships. If one species was removed, the population of the other species would likely go down because they do not have that special help anymore. They rely on each other, and their relationship is extremely important. Have you ever seen a bird build a nest in a tree? The bird gets a place to live, while the tree is unharmed. This relationship is an example of commensalism. Commensalism is a relationship in which one species benefits and the other species is neither helped nor harmed. In nature, commensalism is not very common because two species are usually either helped or harmed a little by an interaction. Another example of commensalism are cattle and cattle egrets. As the cattle graze through a field, their movements stir up insects. The cattle egrets are then able to eat the insects. The cattle egrets benefit from following the cattle so they can get their food, and the cattle are unaffected.